Hello everyone, welcome to the study online. In this today's class, we are going to see how to execute our first Java program. So let us quickly start off with the Java program today itself. To write the Java programs, the programs I can write it in the book, but I cannot see the output, right? So if I want to see the output, then I should be compiling it, then I should be executing it. All those things that the diagrammatic representation already I have shown you. Maybe in this video, I'll demonstrate how exactly you're going to type the program and how you're going to compile it and how you're going to execute it. Let us quickly start our session now. So to type the program, I required some kind of text editor. The basic text editor that is available in all the computer that happens to be Notepad. So if I click on the Notepad, I'll go to the Notepad now. You can see now. So let me share this Notepad. So in this notepad, I'm supposed to write one Java program. So quickly, I'm going to write one Java program now. Observe carefully. I would write it as this is nothing but system dot out dot print. Also you can tell print, and also you can take double quotes is compulsory. I would welcome all of you. Welcome to the study online. So I would like to tell it as welcome you people to the study online, and 100% the semicolon is important here. And whatever you are going to write in this program, features have been taken from the C and C++. So here the flower brackets are compulsory. So once you have written this one, let me go for extra fittings. So this is what I need actually. I need just a print statement to print the things, but this is not a complete Java program. And if you want to write the complete Java program, some additional fittings is what you're supposed to do. So what is that additional fittings? Now observe carefully. So whatever you're going to do, you have to put it within a main function. I would like to tell it as this happens to be the public static void main. Sir, what is this? Sir, public, what is static void main? All those things maybe in my upcoming classes you'll understand in detail why it should be public, why it should be static, what is void, why it should be main. And inside this, you'll get something called as a string of arguments. I would like to tell it as string args. So why this is important, you will understand. But this, whatever the function, the main function, the main method that you're seeing, so this also you should be kept it within something called as class. I would like to tell it as class. Sir, why we have to keep all these things within the class? That also you'll be getting the point in the upcoming classes. But I would like to tell it as a demo. After this, let me indentate in this notepad itself. I'll try to indentate it. So this is my first program, the Java program which I am typing and executing in my course. So welcome to the study online. This is the message that has to be printed on the screen. So I have typed the program. See, typing the program, I am typing in what? High level language. Are you understanding the meanings and feelings of the words, whatever I've typed on the screen? Something you're understanding, right? What is class, what is demo? English words are there, public is there, system is there, out is there, welcome is there, study is there, so string is there, some English words. You're understanding it when you're reading, right? These are only we are going to call it as high level language. Already in my previous classes I've explained about this. The program that you're going to write you are going to write it in the high level language. Is that clear for you, friends? Yeah, the program is ready. The high level program is ready. Whenever you are typing, whatever you are doing, the activity you are doing on what? You are doing on the primary memory. That is, you are doing on the RAM. If you are doing on the RAM, already you know that whatever the task that you are going to do it on the RAM, so it is temporary. Permanently, if you want to save it, so you're going to tell it as save. When you're telling it as save, you're going to tell it as save as. So let me go to the file and let me tell it as save as. So if I tell it as save as, immediately, so in the D drive September batch, a folder has been created. Our Java program is one more folder present here. Maybe here I'm going to tell it as, so whatever the name I have taken for the class, same thing I will tell it here. Why, that also will be come to know in the upcoming classes. I would like to take the same name and extension for the Java. I am supposed to give it as Java. Say suppose if you are doing the Python program, the extension happens to be py. For C programming language it is C, and C++ it is cpp, so and so on. So I'm going to give it as this is demo.java, and I'm going to save it. Now can you recollect what do you mean by saving? I've given the point for this. What do you mean by saving? Taking the data from the RAM and storing it to the hard disk. That process only we are going to call it as what? Saving. If you're taking from the hard disk and if you're placing it on RAM, that is what we are going to call it as loading. Can you recollect the things? Now practically you are seeing, see it is telling it as saving. So I'm going to tell it as please save it. My program now successfully saved in the hard disk. And whenever I want to execute, it's my duty to bring it on the RAM, and compilation will happen, interpretation will happen, and finally the Java program will execute and you will see the output. Is that clear for everyone? So let me compile this program, and if I want to compile this program, so let us check how to compile and execute our Java program. So if I want to compile it, so I need the permission of the operating system. You know that it is a platform. So on the platform only all the tasks that you are going to do. So from the platform, that is operating system, if I want to take the permission, so I'll go to this command prompt. So can you see this command prompt? So can you see this one? So in the command prompt, now it is present in the C drive. So I'm going to tell it as, is that Java C, C for compiler. Java C is present in my computer. That is what I'm asking to the operating system. If I enter immediately, it will scold me very badly. What it is scolding? Java C is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program, or a batch file. It is not present internally also, it is not present externally also, it is not any operable program also, it is not any batch file also. What is this batch file also, I'll be explaining maybe in after a couple of programs. But Java compiler is not present in my computer. Is that clear for everyone? If Java compiler only not present, that means if Java executable file is present or not, let me check. See, Java is also not present. Java compiler is also not present, and along with that, the Java execution program is also not present. If this is not present in my computer, can I execute the program? Can I execute the program? Will I get the output? 100% no. I cannot get the output. So what I require now, I require Java software, and this video is all about how to install the Java software to your machine and how to run or how to execute the simple Java program. Is that clear? The agenda of this particular class happens to be how to execute the Java programs, how to install the Java software to the computer. So quickly go for the Java software installation now. So let me quickly take one more notepad file that happens to be the text file in order to type. And this particular class is all about Java software installation. So this is all about Java software installation. So in this Java software installation class, what are the things you're going to learn? Let me tell the first one. The first one happens to be you will learn how to download and install the Java software. So I'm going to tell it as Java development kit and Java runtime environment, the JDK and JRE. So what is this JDK? What is this JRE? The in detail explanation about the Java software, the theory part. What is exactly the JDK and what is exactly JRE, and where actually the JVM you will get, where it will be present, how it will work. So all those things I'll be discussing in the some other class. But for today's video, for this today's class, so you are going to learn only the installation part. So quickly go with the next one. After downloading, anyways, why we are downloading all this software? To execute the Java program, right? I would like to tell it as execute a sample Java program. So that is what I can tell. Execute a sample Java program. Maybe for this, I'm going to use the text editor happens to be using the notepad. This is what I can tell. And let us do this much first, and let us execute the program and let us see the output. So if I want to download the software, so let me quickly go to the Let me quickly go to the Firefox. Maybe in this I'm going to tell I want the development kit that happens to be JDK8. I will type, and if I tell it as enter, can you see here? As I told, Java is belongs to the Oracle company, so Oracle Corporation. So in this you can see here Java SE. In my first class itself, I have spoken about this. What do you mean by Java SE? Java Standalone Edition and their development kit, the kit which they are going to provide in order to develop the software. So in that 8 version is what I'm going to take. Maybe why Java SC, you can watch my first video. And what is this actually JDK, what are the internal things that is present. I'll be doing it in some other class. Let me click on this. So if I click on this, whenever I was in the day 4, when I was explaining about, the JVM, so I have told that JVM is a platform dependent. For Windows JVM is there. For Macintosh is there. Linux is there. Can you recall the things? Yes or no? And along with that, it should be matching the microprocessor also. So here you can see for the Linux ARM, a separate JDK is available because JVM is present inside the JDK. So here you have a separate JDK for Linux, a separate the JDK for the different versions of the Linux. For Macintosh, separate JDK is there. Solaris, a separate JDK is there. For Windows, a separate is there. Maybe if you keep on looking like this, so according to your platform, so you can download the JDK, and I've already downloaded from it. So let us quickly go to that. So let me close this one. So let me minimize this one. So you can see now. So already I've created one folder here. So here I have two software. What is this edit plus? Maybe in 5-10 minutes you'll understand. So I have this JDK 8, which happens to be for the 64-bit machine, for Windows 10 64-bit. If you want the same software, I'm going to give it in a link for this video, so you can download from that. So what I'll be doing now, so after downloading, let me double click on it. So once I double click, it is going to ask me, do you want to allow this app to make changes in your device? Absolutely, because I want to execute my Java program. So I'm going to tell it as yes. If you tell it as yes, what will happen? Do observe now. So once the software is going to install to your computer, so it will take some time. So what I'm going to do, maybe a little bit uh, move forward, and let me show you the installation process. So it will take some time. It will take some time. So I'll get something like this, welcome for the installation. So you know that the installation for the end user is always, it should be a simple task. It should be like click, 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 next, next, next. Finally, I agree, done. So in the same way, I'm going to do, I'll tell it as next. So it will ask me the development tools. What is this development tools? Also, I'll be speaking with respect to my explanation of the Java software. So installation 2, it is showing you the path. You see C folder, in that program files in the Java and JDK version 1.8. So I'm going to tell it as next. Immediately it is going to download for my computer. So it is installing now, installing. So it is happy to see any software is installing to the computer, right? Maybe we should be knowing how to install or how to uninstall the apps to our computer or maybe mobile. So that is very important. So it is extracting the install. It seems it is taking some time. So let me wait. You people need not to wait. So I'm going to do some short. You can see here, on the screen, it is saying that installing Java fine, but 3 billion devices are running on the Java, and the Java happens to be the number one development platform, and it is by the Oracle Corporation. So Oracle company is saying this. So it is still installing. So do follow the same steps and do download and install the software, so that for my further classes, whatever the programs I'm going to type it in the class, the same programs in the same way you can execute, and without any problem you are going to get the output in the program. If any mistakes are there, we are going to debug. There is no problem with that. But in software installation only, if you do some mistake, it will give you so much of trouble. So do install the software correctly. Maybe it is installing now. So it is successfully installed now. I would like to tell it as close. Let me close this screen as well, so you can observe now. So quickly I'll go to my C drive. So in this you can see the program files. So in the program file, can you see a separate folder now? So Java is there. In this you see what are the two things that has been came to your device or installed to your computer. Happens to be, one is JDK, one is JRE. What is JDK and JRE in detail I will be getting. So I'm going to click on this, and so many things are available here. So in this the two things is very very important for us. Can you see here Java C? What is this Java C? It's a compiler. Which compiler? Java compiler. This fellow is very very important for me to compile the Java program. And can you see this one Java? This happens to be the executable program. So this is required for me to execute my program at the end, the JVM part. This is what very very important for me. Is that clear for everyone? So it is present in the program files. Maybe I want this particular thing, I'm going to minimize. So now observe carefully. Once you have done with these things, so directly you cannot execute your Java program. That is also not possible. So if you want to execute the Java program which you already typed in the notepad, one more extra fitting you should be knowing, and this step happens to be very very important step that you should be understanding. Please listen carefully. So what is that, sir? One more important step, if you ask me, you should be setting the environmental variables for this Java. Sir, what do you mean by that, sir? Setting the environmental variables for Java. Now understand carefully. So let me minimize this one. So after minimizing, you can see here, let me go to this PC. So this is this PC, whatever having in my computer. So I'm going to right click here. Once I'm going to right click here, you can see here properties is there. I'm click on properties. So once I click on the properties, you'll be getting the screen like this. So once you get this one, can you see the fourth option from here, left side? Advanced system setting. Again, I would repeat, right click in the my computer, this PC, you'll be getting this particular page or tab. So here you are going to click it on the advanced system setting. So I'm going to click on this. So it is taking some time. Okay, so when I do this activity, you can see here, so it is asking for environmental variables. It is asking for environmental variable. No issues. If you are not getting properly, do rewind this video and do check it correctly and follow the same steps exactly, and do install the software in the right way. So I'm going to click on the environmental variable. Once I click on the environmental variable, I have two types of variable here. One happens to be the user variables for me, and this happens to be the system variable. So I don't want to touch this particular system variable. So what I'll be doing it now, so in this user variable, I want to create a new one. So what is the name I'm going to give? Try to give a capital one for the first one. I would like to give it as a capital J. So I would like to tell it as Java. Maybe I would like to tell it as Java home. Here the path I need to be given, where exactly the Java that folder is present. So how to get the path? Now observe carefully. So whenever I'm going to do this task, so let me take this Java wherever it is present. Can you see JDK is there, JRE is there. So I want the JDK one. So why not JRE? Maybe when I explain the Java software in detail, you'll be understanding in that particular video. As of now, JDK is what I want. I'm going to click on this. So till JDK is there, this path is what I'm going to select. C program files, Java in the JDK 1.0, 1.8. So I'm going to copy this one. After copying, what I'll be doing, so I'll be coming back to my system control. So I'm going to paste it here. So let me paste it, and I'm going to tell it as okay. So one user variable is what I've created. So this is user variable and system variable put it together is what we are going to call it as environmental variable. And one more thing, I'm going to take it here. I would like to call it as path. You can also consider it as a Java path, not a issue. So here path I should be giving it. So what is the path I am going to give? If you ask me, can you see it here? Again, I'll show you. So this is the folder where the JDK and JR is present. I'll click on the JDK. This path is what we have taken for the Java home. And here there is something a folder called as bin. So if I click on this bin, can you see here the Java C is present, the Java compiler and Java executable file is also present here. So this is what I'm going to take it as path. Let me consider this happens to be the path. And after copying this, let me go to the same place where I'm supposed to paste it. I'm going to paste it here and I'm going to tell it as okay. Now the Java home is ready and path is ready. Once both these environmental variables are set up, that is user variables, which is comes under environmental variables are set up. Now that means you are telling to your operating system correctly. See the operating system. So here you have a Java compiler. Here you have the Java executable file. Please look at this. That is what you are trying to tell by setting the environmental variables. Now we'll go to our command prompt and we will check whether the operating system by this time know what is exactly the compiler, what is exactly the executable file. So before doing that, I'll tell okay here, and after that I'll tell okay here as well. Let me close this one. Let me close this one. And as normal, the notepad is there, no issues. Now observe carefully. So what I'll be doing it here, let us go back to the command prompt. So in the command prompt, now I'll be telling, do you know Java C? If I ask this one, it is taking some time. Do you know now? When you set the environmental variable, what is the changes that you're seeing? Previously, in the beginning of this video, what the command prompt or the operating system have scolded for us? What do you mean by this Java C? I don't know, man. Tell me, what is this Java C? Internally also it is not present. Externally also it is not present. So Java C, it is not recognized in the computer itself. That is what the command prompt has told to us. But now what has happened? It is giving you the complete information about Java C. How this operating system getting the information? Yes, you have set the environmental variables properly and you have given the path also. Is that clear for everyone? Not only this, is that executable file is present. So I'm going to tell it as Java, and if I tell it as Java C, all the information about this you are going to get. So how to exit out of it? You can tell it as exit, and if you press enter, you'll come out of the command prompt. Is that clear for everyone? Can I compile my first Java program which I had written on the notepad now? Can I do that? So let me go here. So let me tell it as open. So if I want to save that, let me save it. So let me save it on the desktop, this particular one. So I would like to tell it as maybe Java software installation dot txt text file, and I'm going to save it. So after doing this, I have clicked on the open button. So let me tell it as again, file open. So let me go to the D drive wherever it is present, September batch, Java programs. So here it's not present. So we have not saved it. Let us check it manually. So let me check it once. So if I try to open, so observe carefully what will happen. So I'll go to this September batch, Java programs. So nothing is present here because I have not saved the text file with the txt format. I have saved with the .java. So it has already become the Java program. So what is the proof, sir? So I'm going to minimize this one. Let me go to the D drive. So here September batch is there, Java programs is there. You can see demo.java. So my program is already present. So if it is already present, so let me close this one. So now I want to execute this program. So if I want to execute this program as normal, we'll get the permission from the operating system. that will get it in the comment prompt. So here where I am going to tell it as it is present in the C drive currently. So I want to change the directory. So program is present in which drive? If you have seen, yeah, it is present in the D drive. I would tell it as D colon, so it came to the D drive. So in the D drive also so many folders will be there. So which folder it is present? So I want to tell in that you change the directory cd, change the directory. That is what I'm trying to tell here. So you change the directory. What is the folder name I should be giving? So it is nothing but the September program, right? So let me check it once. D drive September batch. Okay. So I would like to tell it as this is September, and the same thing name you should be giving it here, September underscore batch. So now it is present in the September batch. In the September batch, again, one more folder is what I've kept it. So you can see it here inside the September batch. So many things are there in that Java programs. So P capital. So in that I'm going to tell you change the directory, and this happens to be the Java programs. So I would like to tell it as Java programs. Now it came to the Java programs. Here so many programs, if it is present also fine, not a issue, but this is my first program, so only one program is present here, and that one program name happens to be demo.java. So first program I have typed in the high level programming language. After typing the high level programming language, I have saved it, so it is present in the hard disk. Now I should be giving it to the Java compiler. If I want to give it to the Java compiler for the compilation process, what is the command that I should be telling in the command prompt? You should be understanding now carefully. I would like to tell it as I want the compiler. Which compiler I want? Java compiler is I want. So this is what the command, that is Java C. If you tell it as Java C, Java compiler will get activated. Once the Java compiler is getting activated, what is going to do? You want to execute the file, right? If I want to execute the file, you should be telling the file name properly. I would like to tell it as demo, and with the extension, you should be telling, see, it is Java file. I like that, I should be telling. Otherwise, how you will understand? Can you execute the text file? Not possible, right? You should be executing the program file, that is .java extension file only you should be executing. So I'm going to tell it as if I press enter, if there is no issue, immediately is going to compile and immediately is going to generate the byte code. So let me press enter. So compilation is going on. Compilation is done within a fraction of second, and there is no issues. So corresponding class file or the byte code or the intermediate code is what already generated. So really is that generated, sir? Show me the proof, sir. So let me go to the same September batch Java programs. Can you see? Previously only demo.java. Now it is demo.class. So if I click on this also, so I can show you the intermediate code. Maybe I'll go for the notepad, but not always. I'll click on this. So can you see this one? This is what I was speaking about in my previous classes. What do you mean by this byte code? What do you mean by this intermediate code? This byte code is neither a high level language nor a machine level language. It is intermediate language. If you send it through the internet, what is the problem that you're going to face? Nothing, right? If hacker hack also, nothing he will understand. But directly if you give to the microprocessor also is not going to understand. It is the in between language. So it is intermediate language. Is that clear for everyone? Now this is what I'm supposed to give it for my JVM, right? The dot class. The dot class extension is for the byte code, and dot Java extension is for the Java program which you're going to type. Anyways, let me close this one. So now I should be giving to the JVM. JVM, you know that it is a machine dependent, and it is going to act like an interpreter. It is going to take the byte code as the input, and it is going to generate the corresponding machine level code. So once it is going to create the machine level code, what will happen? So it will give to the microprocessor, and quickly we are going to get the output. Is that clear for everyone? Yeah. For that, what is the command we should be telling it, sir? Now I will tell you executable file already you have seen, right? Java. That's what I'm going to tell. This time no Java compile and all. Just you say Java. That is more than sufficient. Java you tell, and along with that, the file name you tell. File name you should be telling. Sir, dot Java is not required. Why it is required? Are you interpreting the high level language program which you have written? No, right? Okay, sir, dot class if I want to tell, you should not tell dot class. If you don't tell also, JVM will understand it is demo dot class itself. Why it will understand as dot class, or how it is going to understand, maybe in the Java software, the complete architecture I'm going to explain in some other class. There you'll be understanding. But whenever you're going to execute after the compilation, during the interpretation, you should be not telling it as extension is not required. Only Java, not Java C, also Java and file name, that is demo. Is that clear for everyone? If I'm going to press enter, immediately the microprocessor is going to process. In a fraction of second, I'll be getting the output, and I'm going to press enter here. Can you see? In a fraction of second, before you blink eyes, so you got the output. So what is that output? Whatever I have written in the print statement, that is what I've got the output here. That happens to be welcome to study online. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no? Okay. So I'm going to tell it as exit here. So if I tell it as exit, let me go to the same notepad. You tell me now. So the purpose is that has been satisfied. Download and install the JDK and JRE, and you are supposed to set the environmental variables. That is very important. Otherwise your operating system will not understand exactly where the path of the Java compiler and the JVM is present. So that's why you're supposed to set the environmental variable. Once you have set the environmental variable, for typing the programs, I have taken the simple notepad. You can type it in the notepad, no issues at all. But if you type it in the notepad, you know the difficulties, right? So if your program is present in the D drive, so you from the C drive, you're supposed to go to D drive. In that, many folders will be there. That folder name you have to type. In that, if one more folder is named, that folder you have to change the directory. In that, program name is there. It is very difficult, right? Yes or no? It is very difficult. That's why in this Java course, maybe one more text editor is what I'm going to use, the IDE. So which is that IDE? If you ask me, I'm going to make use of Edit Plus. Sir, why not, sir, Eclipse? Everyone are using Eclipse, sir. Are you not going to use Eclipse in this Java classes, sir? Wait. In the initial stage, many programs will be typing and executing in the notepad itself, because manually you'll be typing. And after that, we'll move on to the Edit Plus. There also you will do so many mistakes. From that mistake, you are going to learn so many things. After that, when we go to the Eclipse, so all the ready-made things will be available for us. Only we'll focus on the logic, and ready-made things will be available for us, and we'll be keep on typing the program. And directly, if you go to the Eclipse, some few minute things you will not understand. You have to do some mistake. When you do some mistake, you will understand it correctly, so that when you're doing in the Eclipse, so it will be already present at your back of your mind, and you will not do that mistake. You'll focus on the logic of that program. Is that clear for everyone? So the next one for the today's task happens to be, I would like to tell it as maybe uh, download and install IDE, that happens to be Edit Plus. So it is not compulsory, to go with this Edit Plus only. You can type it in Notepad, or one more thing is there, Notepad plus plus. You can do it that also. So or you can go for Edit Plus, or you can go for Eclipse. So it up to you. There are so many editors are available. So I'll take you in this way. First through the Notepad, next through the Edit Plus, and next to the Eclipse. And once we go for the programs, I'll show you how to type it in the NetBeans as well. So let me type it as the fourth point. The same thing I want to copy and paste it here. So we are going to execute a sample program there also. And this time this is not using the notepad. So this time we are going to do it with what? Edit Plus. Very good. So we are going to do it with the Edit Plus. So if you're doing this much, that itself for the class, so quickly go and download the Edit Plus. So where Edit Plus we can take it, sir? If you ask me, don't worry, I'll give you the link in the description. So let me go to the Java software, this folder. Edit Plus is available for the 64-bit. So let me click on this. So immediately it is asking for the license, you should be accepting it. So many a times in the life this will happen. We are not going to read this so called as warranty. That is what very very important for us. And that license agreement is what we are not going to read. Hey, who will read this much? Yeah. And if I tell it as accept, you know what he will do. Okay, if I tell it as decline, anyways I cannot use this application. People will, blindfolded, they will tell it as accept. So if you tell it as accept, again my computer will tell, fellow, please think again. Do you want this application to install in your computer? So I will tell yes. So it will tell all the selection directory. It is going to take by default the C drive, and I'll tell it as start copy, and set up overwrite the existing files, the old file. Okay, no issues. Immediately, congratulations, setup is completed successfully, and I'll tell it as okay. And you can see it here, it is already present, the edit plus. So I think it is visible for everyone. So here the edit plus is available. Let me click on this. So this you will get. So don't worry on this. I'll going to close this one. uh Maybe I'll tell it as accept the license. Yeah, yes, I will tell. So license, sorry. Enter the register code. So you want to purchase this one, but I don't want to purchase. I'll close this one. If you close this one, you'll get this one. So don't tell it as I agree, quit. Don't tell anything here, because if you tell anything, ultimately you have to purchase. I'll just drag it and keep it the side. In many times life will, in life also this will happen. You cannot accept also, you cannot reject also. What you should be doing, just to keep it aside for a while. That is what you can do it in the life also. So I can see here, so it is present in the D drive, September batch, and in the Java program. So in this, I'm going to type a program now. So demo.java, already the program which we have typed, it is present here. So I'll take with a new one. I'll take it as new. And here you should be seeing, you can write the HTML code also, C, C++, Perl, other, all those things. I required Java, and I'll be telling it as Java. Can you see the difference? So if you tell like this, you're supposed to, you need not to write anything here. The ready-made code, the boiler code, so it will be ready for you. So I want supposed to tell it as the file name, sorry, the class name. I would like to tell it as, this happens to be the demo one. I will tell. I need not to type this one. That's why I told you in the beginning. You type it in the notepad. Once you are comfortable with the basics, you go with the edit plus. Once you are very comfortable with the edit plus, go with the eclipse. Is that clear for everyone? So hello word is there. So your message I will be changing little bit. I would like to tell it as hello everyone, and here I will tell welcome to steady online. Because if the same message if I print, few people will think that when I'm executing the program, or the same old output is what I'm suppose I'll be showing. So don't mind, so I'm changing the data here. So this is hello everyone, and welcome to the steady online. So now how to execute, that is the question. How to execute means, that two steps are involved here. So one is compilation, one is interpretation, or the compilation phase and execution phase. So for that, here I don't want to type it as Java C. I don't want to tell it as Java. That is a little bit difficult task, right? So what I'll be doing it here. So can you see this option tools? So I'll go to this tools. Can you see this one? Maybe so this particular thing is already present. So compile one is there. Uh, Maybe I'll cancel this one. So close this as well. I'll go to this user tool, and I would like to configure the user tool. So this is already present. I would like to remove this one. This also I'm going to remove because I've already done this one. So again, I'll redo it for you. Observe carefully. I would like it as add tools, and this happens to be program. So and here I'm going to tell it as first I'm going to do the compile option. I require something called as compile, and here I need to give the command. What is the command? Java C is the command. Simply, if you type Java C, you will not get that option, the complete command. You should be typing the path, you should be typing it here. So what we are going to do it for that. So get back wherever it is present. I'll go to the C, program files is present here. So I'll go to Java. In that JDK is there. So in that bin is there. In that bin Java C is there. Can you see it here? Yeah, this path you're supposed to take. How to take? Click here. After clicking it here and tell it as backslash and just type it as Java C. Can you see the executable file? This is what the executable file. Okay, I think I've typed on that. Oh, it is executable file. And let me copy this one. Let me come to my edit plus. So in the command, I'm going to type it here. Is that clear? I'm going to paste it. After this argument is what I'm supposed to tell. The argument that I'm going to give happens to be the file name. That is demo.java. The file name is what I'm going to give. And initial directory happens to be the file directory itself. I'll apply it and I'll tell it as okay. The same thing you should be doing it again for the execution part. Let me tell it as configuration, the user tools. So let me add one more for the execution. I'll tell it as program. So this time I'll tell it as execute. So this is very cute. And I'm going to tell it as command. This time command, I want the Java. So let me go to the same place. Here the Java is present. So what I'm going to tell it here, and I don't want the Java C, and I'll be just telling it as Java. If you tell it as Java, can you see here? Java executable, java.exe, and I'm going to take this one. Okay, again I click on that. Anyways, I'm going to copy this one. I'll minimize this. Here I'm going to paste it, and after this I'm going to tell it as when you're executing, you have seen already in the command prompt. I have told any demo.java, demo.class, something like that. Only file name I have told. Correct, right? That's why I'm going to tell it as this time. This is file name without extension. That is what you should be telling. File name without extension. And the root directory happens to be the file directory, and I will apply and I will tell it as okay. Is that clear for everyone? This time the class name happens to be demo1. So what I have supposed to do, you can see the tool, the shortcut already you can see. For compile, just press it as control 1. For execution, you tell it as control 2. That's all. So for the compilation, what I'll be doing it here. Yes, exactly. I'll be telling it as control 1. If I tell it as control 1, before the compilation, it will scold me very badly. Currently, it is running on the RAM. First, you save the program, man. That is what it is trying to tell. With what name I'm supposed to save it here? So I'm going to tell it as the same name. I would tell it as demo1.java. This time I need not to tell it as Java, but for your understanding purpose, I will tell it is demo1.java. And I'll be telling it as save. If I tell it as save, compilation is done, and it is telling press any key to enter. I'll tell it as enter. So I'll tell it as control 2 for the interpretation or for the execution. Control plus 2. Now I am typing on the keyboard. So I'll tell it as control 2, and immediately it is telling hello everyone and welcome to the study online. Is that clear? Again, I'll press enter here. So this is how we are going to execute the program using the edit plus. So quickly come back to my notepad. Today, whatever the things we have studied, quickly I'll recall it. We have downloaded and installed the Java software. So why JDK is required, JRE required, the explanation about this Java software, the Java software architecture, the JVM architecture is present in a different video, or it is present in a different class altogether. Yeah, but the second thing happens to be you have executed a simple Java program. You have typed it in the notepad. After typing, you have saved it. And for the compilation, we required Java C. After that, for execution, you have told the command as Java. In the same way, you know that how difficult to change the directory and all those things, that's why we also type the programs in the IDE that happens to be the edit plus. And from today onwards, it's only the program. All the basics we have set up. So from the my next class, so you will be understanding why exactly we have to write a class, why we have to write public static void main, what is exactly the string, then the arguments, what is that system.out.println, why you are going to write a few words in the uppercase, in few places you will write it in lowercase, why all those things, so you'll be understanding from the upcoming classes. So I recommend all of you to download the application and don't forget to I mean, download the software, and don't forget to set the environmental variable. That is very important. And try to execute this program. And today onwards, the programming will start. So thank you so much. The Java software explanation, you'll get it in some other video. Do download and install the software, and type and execute the first program. Then you attend my upcoming classes. Is that clear for everyone? Thank you so much. I'm ending this session. So, and we'll be meeting in the next class. Thank you.